Welcome to CJ Coaching HQ, and today we're going to go through a Q&A. So my big role as obviously trainer and coach is trying to educate and help people as much as possible. So we put out a questions and answers onto my Instagram and also into some of my client Facebook groups to try and help you guys find out what you want to know more about and where your questions are and where maybe the holes are in terms of your knowledge to help you achieve your goal of burning body fat and building muscle. So in this video we're going to take you through some of those common questions that people are obviously asking, what you guys are unsure of, where you need a bit more guidance, and probably the key nuggets of information that can help you kick ass and achieve your goals throughout this year. So we are going to start off going through some of these client questions and some of the questions from Instagram. So firstly, it's a great 3 questions actually here from Paul Jordan in the Shred and 8 group, so shout out. Question, so what's most important, macros or calories? Superb question, sir. So it depends on the context of your goal. If your goal is to burn body fat and get leaner, the key there is calories. Because if you're looking to try and burn body fat, if you're not in a calorie deficit, your macros are irrelevant. So like the most important thing in that situation is your calories. And I'd also probably say that in regards to building muscle mass, it's also going to be your calories, because if you're looking to build muscle, you have to have an excess of calories available, so your body has the raw resources to then go and be able to build the muscle tissue you want to try and acquire. If you do not have those calories available, your body doesn't have those building blocks, then nothing's going to happen. So are calories more important than macros? Yes. So I'd focus on getting your calories bang on first. Like if you're out 10 to 20 calories, like whatever, it's a small difference, that's fine. But if you're out like a lot, then that's a big difference. So I'd really try and focus on how many calories and being consistent with that, being on track, and that would be the key for you achieving your success pool. So calories over macros for question number 1. Question number 2, what's your thoughts on if it fits your macros? So it's a very, very good question again, Paul. So in regards to if it fits your macros, I am a fan in some respects depending on the food choices. So providing we're looking at generally unprocessed foods, low inflammatory foods, single ingredient foods, boom, cool, all sounds good. My concern with if it fits your macros is that it can end up to a lot of inconsistency and often not actually being on track. So in reality, what we really want here is for you to be bulletproof with having, like we said in the previous comment, we want you to have the right calories every day. If you're doing if it fits the macros and you're changing stuff all the time, I can guarantee you your calorie allowance will be fluctuating because it's not going to be consistent. So generally with most people, I prefer they try and stick to a fairly consistent routine. If you want to do if it fits your macros, if that's easier for you, then that's great. But some people actually prefer the structure of knowing I have to eat this at 9 o'clock, this at 12 o'clock, this at 3 o'clock, rather than like what can I fit into my diet. So but if it fits your macros, don't eat junk food. That would be one thing I would suggest. Well, I did have 2 Pop-Tarts yesterday, blueberry ones, they were banging. So you can have like a little treat now and then, depending what your goal is. So my goal at the moment is acquiring muscle mass and getting stronger. So I'm in a big calorie surplus. So me having 2 Pop-Tarts out of my 5,000 calories a day and swapping that in for like if it fits your macro approach isn't so bad, because I can take the extra 8 grams of fat that's going to come with those Pop-Tarts. So that will be my suggestions with that for you, Paul. Question number 3, is it best to keep your carb intake to a minimum whilst cutting? So again, Paul, this comes down to our key here is we want to actually achieve our carbs and calories as high as possible whilst cutting. But in reality, what we're going to need is to get your nutrition to the point where it's actually correct for you, so we're making progress. So we want you to have your carbs as high as they can whilst you're still making progress. Will you have to have less carbohydrates than when you're bulking? Yes, because obviously you're going to be in a calorie deficit. So in regards to keeping your calories down whilst cutting, an overall consensus, yes, that's something you're probably going to be looking to do. Matty Richards question, hi bud, I have one. Can your programs be used for boxers/fighters? Yes, Matt, 100%, because my big approach to training and nutrition is optimizing performance, so strength and fitness, which will cause an adaptive response in the body. So 100% it will work very, very well for anyone who is a boxer or a fighter. So great question, Matt. Next question, Mark Hofstrom, also in the Shred and 8 group. What are your recommendations for US supplements and foods? So in that regard, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, because all of the foods you have available in the US are the same as the UK. So just like a chicken breast is a chicken breast. So there's no stress with that. The availability of supplements again is very much the same. So I highly recommend the Muscle Nation supplements, which ship to the US. But if you can't get hold of those, then just go to like your the big name brands. and there's not going to be a huge amount of difference between different products there. So I wouldn't struggle to stress too much about that mark. This is probably an example when a lot of people tend to overstress in the minute details, like what supplements do I need, what protein powder do I need, what creatine should I buy, and like in reality that's not really what's going to make the difference here. The reality is you not being stressed and you being consistent with the program to get your results. So those are the questions from the Shred Nate Facebook group. Some great ones there, guys. So now into some of the Instagram questions. We've got what style of periodization do you feel best for bodybuilders' physique? Again, it completely depends and depends on the goal at the time. I personally think we should go through phases where we train heavier and then go to slightly higher volume and have a cyclical approach to that. So I do this on an instinctive basis rather than on how I feel, rather than scheduling these things out. I would suggest every probably 12 to 16 weeks you change your approach with training slightly. Is probably the best thing to do. Questions from MSK Fitness 6, so it's a good question. Question from Wojern, Instagram handle. What's the best way for a beginner to start their transformation journey? The best way for them to start their transformation journey is to get educated and get a guide, because this is a very simple process, getting fat and transforming your body, but there's a lot of BS and a lot of smoke and mirrors in the fitness industry, and a lot of people putting out their incorrect information, hence why I'm trying to do these Q&As to give you guys the right information. So I suggest finding something basic, something that's easy for you to follow, and then just do that consistently and you'll make great progress from the start. So that would be my suggestion. Get a simple plan to follow, bulletproof, you know that works. Shred Nate, for example, works phenomenally well, would be a suggestion. Only £37, link is below, so that could be a good shout. Question from Ranjith, diet for losing leg fat and belly, I presume you mean belly fat. So you can't site specifically lose body fats, this is one of the most common questions we get. So in that regard you need to lose body fat and weight overall, so you can't really achieve that, unfortunately, Ranjith. A1 King 1, how do you improve / maintain gut health and reduce inflammation in the gut? So the easiest way to do this, A1 King 1, is to actually think about what you're putting into your gut at the first point. So I referred to it earlier as looking at like low inflammatory foods. We want unprocessed foods. I'd see if maybe, and listening to your own body's biofeedback. So if you find certain foods give you a bad stomach, give you gas, make you feel bloated, then those are probably foods you should really be avoiding. That would be a very good starting point. Also, I'd look at when you go to the toilet what your stools are like, and be very conscious of how your food's digesting with you and how food's reacting, because it's different for every single person. So that would be two things, would be to get rid of processed foods and then listen to your body. Two other things I'd look at would be adding glutamine into your diet, because as a supplement, because that actually helps to repair the gut lining, so I'd suggest using that. And then you could also look into using a pro and prebiotic and potential digestive enzymes as well. So that would be a couple of questions for you. Answers for you. Next question, Achilles 20. How to reduce fat percentage? I'm jogging every day, but my fat percentage is not going down. So this is one of the most common things I actually hear, Achilles, is that people try and run to lose weight. And mic drop, running is probably like the worst thing you can do in terms of losing weight. So I would not recommend it in that respect, because most people are just going to be getting joint pain, getting tired, and not actually going to end up getting results like yourself. The key here, if you're looking to lose body fat, is getting your diet correct. So that's where I'd really focus first. If you need any help for that, drop us a comment below and try and answer any questions for that. This is just to show the sort of shit I get on social media. I'm going to answer this question anyway. Do you have any gay experience before? Sorry to ask this. Then why did you ask it? No, I'm happily married to a woman. So that's a no. Nicholas Facey, best advice for new trainers starting out in the industry with the current situation? So that's a really good question, Nicholas. In regards to new trainers in the industry, I would use this as an opportunity to really nail down, master your craft and learn, because do you know how you become successful as a trainer? You get amazing results with clients and you just become phenomenally good at what you do, and it's a referral based business in that respect. So I would suggest you really focus on knuckling down, nailing about learning, reaching out to people for help, surround yourself in a network of supportive individuals who are really crushing it, and just trying to learn from the best people ahead of you, perhaps, is probably what I would suggest. In terms of other advice from that, I would just try and take it one day at a time, focus on winning each day and create structure. Talking of creating structure, something that would be very good for you, Nicholas, is a high performance planner by Brenda Bouchard. It's available on Amazon. So that is something I would recommend would help you with your business. Next question, Charlie Simpson. Is it possible to not eat enough in order to lose weight? That's an interesting question. Is it possible to not eat? So you mean undereat, so then you're losing weight? Oh no, you need to eat more to lose weight. Yes. So basically, in some essence, like if you starve yourself, yes, you will lose weight probably for a little while, and then your body will go into starvation mode. It will try and hold on to body fat and everything for dear life. The analogy I give for this is if you're in the desert, for example, and you've got no food, what would you want your body to do? You would want your body to slow down your metabolic rate, hold on to all body fat, all muscle tissue as much as possible, so that then like you can prolong life. And this is in essence what your body thinks is going on when you're not eating enough. So next questions. Hariz Hasnan, do you like to eat dates? I love dates. So from when I'm in Dubai, I've got a big date fetish. So I have those at the moment, my high carb days, because we're on the gain train, and I have those around my workout, big fan. So yes, dates are very good for carbs around the workout in my opinion. NJ New Kane, vegan food protein sources are so high in carbs or fat, how do they meet macros to get definition? So with respect to a lot of these people, NJ and UK, the ones who probably do that are probably the two things here. So one, they're either in phenomenally good shape before they became vegan. Two, they're genetically gifted. Because for the vast majority of people, a vegan-based diet is incredibly poor in terms of macronutrient breakdown, as you've actually alluded to in this question. So if someone was coming to me for optimal health, optimal performance, optimal strength, would I ever recommend a vegan diet? No. Are there any vegan food protein sources that are very high in protein and low in carbs or fats? No. The closest thing to that is going to be the vegan protein powders, but then you're also going to have processed food, which probably a lot of vegan people don't want to use anyway. And then with the vegan products, those protein powders tend to be higher in carbs and higher in fats than the whey isolate versions. So again, are inferior in my opinion. But good question. Next question, Henry Taylor. Sustaining motivation. I find myself motivated initially but wears off and I don't reach the goal. So that's a really good question, Henry. So I'm reading, it's not in here, it's an awesome book called Atomic Habits. And basically what it talks about in there is like not actually focusing on goals because they'll be disheartening. The key here is to focus on habits and the systems and the processes you do every day and get those correct, and you'll get to your end goal eventually. One thing that I love is that you need to do is focus on not being motivated but being disciplined, because your motivation for everyone goes up and down. But if you're disciplined, you'll keep training, you'll keep eating, you'll keep doing everything you should do. So that's really the key here for you, Henry, is to try and get yourself disciplined, create the right habits every day, and you will win and achieve your goal eventually. The main problem is how to solve my belly fat from Goku Gutham. You need to be burning body fat overall. You can't site specifically lose belly fat. So as I said earlier in one of the other questions, you need to really focus on reducing the body fat overall and your weight overall, and the body fat will come from there. And last question from, try not to balls this up, Eowyn Fitzpatrick's put pre-workout question mark. Pre-workouts, am I a fan? Yes, I am. I am about to go and have one in a minute, so I'm going to train shortly. I like them for different scenarios. I have reined mine in the amount of caffeine I'd use. Is it something I'd recommend everyone uses, everyone needs? No, I wouldn't necessarily go and spend my hard-earned money on it if I had any financial limits or any restrictions, so please do not spend your money on that. The most important thing I would suggest you spend your money on is correct nutrition, correct training program, correct nutrition program. The best thing you can do in life is get the right advice. You spending £40 on a shiny pre-workout and then doing a workout program and diet that isn't correct is a complete waste of money and time. So I'd really evaluate where you're investing your money when it comes to your fitness journey, and that'll make a big difference to you earn. So this is this month's Q&A. I'm going to try to do one of these once a month. Hope you guys found this super helpful. If there's anything else you'd like to know about any of the topics on here, drop us a comment below. If it was helpful, please smash the like button and hit subscribe.